The first one is the love deception. And so scammers, they're going to set up fake profiles on dating websites, social media platforms, and what they're going to be doing is preying on the emotional aspects of a relationship. So over time, they're going to gain your trust. They're going to share sob stories. And then once you've bonded and your kind of like heartstrings are kind of knit, that's when the financial help request will come in. And so it may be a small amount at first. It may be, whatever. But when it goes from that kind of dating environment, love connection kind of thing, into a request for some type of monetary support, immediately your gut, flag should go off. And so as somebody maybe who's taking care of aging parents, or just, if your parents are still around and, they're using technology, have the conversations with them about forming anything new relationship wise. If they've gone through a divorce or they're widower, they're going to be, lonely and wanting to pursue something, which you can't blame them, right? It's part of life, is having these relationships, these close bonds. And it's really sad that scammers take advantage of this and look to part older, family members from their money in an attempt to just fraud them. So have the conversation with them. Don't ever share your personal or financial details with the person at the other end. If you've not known them for a long time and just like you can see my face, Josh, and we're talking now with deep fakes, this may become even more difficult as that technology advances, and now it looks like somebody that you really know, but it's not. It's a scammer. Just scrutinize that. Why are you asking me for money? This isn't the kind of relationship we have.
Now I'm curious though, so have the conversation. The conversation needs to be specifically is it don't form relationships online, or is it just don't send money online? What does that conversation maybe look like?
Yeah. So nothing wrong with online relationships. That's a new medium. That's how things are working today. And so just use discernment, use judgment, because what typically these types of scams look like is it's, either the person's parent, the person's sibling, the person's cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever, some person that they're close to is going through this horrible thing, and they don't have the money to get to their side. They're trying to get by their side before they die, before their thing dies, their whatever. And they have formed that relationship, that bond with you, that you're like empathizing with them, and you're like, oh man, I want to help them get to the bedside or the trip that they need to get on to go rescue this child that got whatever, right? That's not how rational, normal people do things. That
Right.
a normal person who's in that kind of situation, they may set up a GoFundMe, they may set up some other kind of legitimate, or they're not even the ones setting it up. Somebody on their behalf sets it up, right? When my son died, I didn't set up a GoFundMe to say, hey, help me get down to Florida and pay the bills while I'm down there. I didn't have to do any of that, because people who know me and knew Alex was dying, they took care of that for me, and they sent those requests. And so a person that is going through some kind of trying hardship, they're not going to be in a mindset to reach out to you, their new love interest, to ask for money to get to the bedside of their dying whatever. And so that just that discernment, that kind of understanding and thinking it through from a rational perspective, like, hey, let me set up a GoFundMe for you. Give me the details of your, so-and-so. And then if you set that up, now you have the protection of an organization like GoFundMe, who will go after these scammers and sue them and actually take them, to court for fraud if any of that money is distributed not in accordance with the terms of the GoFundMe. So if in fact they do need that kind of help, offer that and see if they, but if they're trying to sell you Bitcoin or, go get a Target gift card or anything like that stuff, it's not legit. It's not real. It's a scam. So they're looking
That's
for an
helpful.
untraceable method that you can put money into and they can't be found. So that gift card scam, Bitcoin scam, that's all that is.
It really does feel like even just part of the conversation needs to be look, just please don't believe everything you read or see online,
Yeah.
whether it's from this new relationship, whatever, or whatever. Like, don't believe everything you see. And if something like this happens, would you please come tell me? Like
Yeah.
if they reach out to you and like just come tell me so I can like help you navigate this and like help you set up that GoFundMe if it's a legit thing or whatever. But
Isn't
yeah,
it ironic that
that's
as we
helpful.
were growing, our parents would always tell us, "Don't believe everything you see on TV." And now here are the
Right.
tides
Or
are
even
turning.
like stranger danger
Yeah,
or like you know what I mean? And it's like
yeah. Hey, did you
now it's
forget
like
all
the
that stuff you
reverse.
taught us?
Right.
You haven't learned everything. You've learned a lot,
Yeah.
and your wisdom is sought after. But
But
please,
I think that's actually part of why your this love deception thing is so
yeah,
hard because it does prey on emotion,
yeah,
right? And so it's not just a strict information
yeah,
conspiracy,
right,
right? But it's a legit like an emotional thing.
yeah,
So that's probably why it's so so
powerful,
easily
yeah,
fallen for and whatever.
yeah,
So
and
anyways, that's helpful.
that particular scam, that con may be part of the long con, right? So that long con could
Mm.
be, they could have, shared puppy pictures and kitten picture, whatever, and stories of being widowed and widowered, if that's the right word,
Mm.
losing your spouse, right? They could
Yeah.
bond over that. And the one side is genuinely sharing the hurt, the loss, the pain. The other side is sharing, a story that they're making up to bond. And now you have this in
Yep.
common. Oh, they're such a great person. Da 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 da. And the conversation hasn't, up to this point, gone to send me money, financials, do something for me money wise. And they have built that trust without ever actually seeing the person, videoing the person, and they could, uh,
Mm.
depending on the net worth of the person too, they
Yeah.
could be being set up for a huge scam. So they could hire an actor, actress to sit in front of a camera and have a conversation about whatever. And,
Mm.
that's going to be pretty significant. And if your net worth, isn't in the millions or whatever, that's less likely, because it just would be a waste of
Right.
money for the scammer to do that.
Yeah.
But they would go after larger targets, billionaires, millionaires that, are lonely. So that's,
Yep.
that's a real
Well, even just like you're talking about the, I'll stop talking after this, but like it just reminds me something that Kafir said in the last podcast where he said something along the lines of be very careful about what information you share.
yeah,
Like he's like be skeptical and it's like you've said before, like be skeptical of everything.
yeah,
Like it's not bad to share things with trusted parties, but even it doesn't just have to be passwords. It can be or a phone number. It can literally be details of your personal life.
yeah,
Be careful who you share that with, um, because that's another thing that you've talked about how scammers and hackers can like build a profile
hmm,
of somebody, and it's like that's another bit of
yeah.
information they know about you that they can potentially exploit. So you just have to be careful of those things online.